Tonight we have an interesting conversation as you are author of a wonderful book. You are rising star of geopolitical professionals. And I would like to ask you several questions regarding your view, which made a lot noises in this country. Well, let's start first from your interesting trip you had a few years ago, 2 years trip around 40 countries. Probably it gave you the topics for your book.
That's right.
And please tell us about the book, The Second War.
I was a fellow at the Brookings Institution, one think tank in Washington, D.C., and I was the youngest fellow there, and everyone else had written many books. So I said, it's time for me to write a book. So I received a grant from a publisher, and I traveled for 2.5 years, actually, to about 45 countries. But I had a common concept that I wanted to pursue, and I called it the Second World. I said, if the first world is the rich countries, members of the OECD, that's 30 countries. The poor countries, or the poorest countries, they call them the least developed countries. That's 48 or 50 countries. 30 plus 50 is 80, but there's 200 countries in the world. What about everyone in between? So I started to say that's the Second World. Now, people here will know the term Second World used to mean the communist countries, the socialist countries. But no one used the term anymore from the 1990s onward. So I said, let's revive the concept, because we do have a world where inequality is widening within countries.
Yes.
And the Second World countries, to me, are the ones that appear to be First World and Third World at the same time. And you don't know which way they will go. And that describes dozens and dozens. Over 100 countries, I feel, are in what you would call limbo, not knowing their future. So I wanted to trace these countries. So I traveled and traveled. But the other common narrative was the geopolitical one. What happens to these countries in a world that is not dominated by America? In a world where there are multiple superpowers and empires? America, yes, still, but also the European Union is a bigger economy than the United States, 27 countries, and of course China. And so I put those two things together in my travels. And so the book was called The Second World, and it was published in 2008.
Parag Khanna 1977 онд төрсэн энэтхэг гаралтай. Америк нэгдсэн улсын дэлхийн засаглалын санаачлагын захирал. Шинэ Америк сангийн Америкийн стратегийн хөтөлбөрийн ахлах судлаач Parag Khanna. Parag Khanna нь олон улсын харилцааны судлаач бөгөөд дэлхийн геополитикийн асуудлаар олон бүтээл төрөвсөн. Түүний 2008 онд хэвлэгдсэн 2 дахь ертөнц ном бестселлер болж, эсвэр сэтгүүл түүнийг 21-р зууны хамгийн нөлөө бүхий 75 хүний нэгээр зарлаж байсан бол, Wire сэтгүүл дэлхийн ухаантай 15 хүний нэг хэмээсэн юм. Нэгдсэн үндэсний байгууллагын Ирак, Афганистантайха тусгай салбарын геополитикийн зөвлөх байсан тэрээр Америк нэгдсэн улсын ерөнхийлөгчийн сонгуулийн үеэр Барак Обамагийн гадаад бодлогын багт нь ажиллаж байжээ.
In that book, you said you have created new term, geopolitical marketplace.
Yes.
Why?
It's an essential concept. When people think of geopolitics, they think of hegemony. They think of one power dominating.
We used to have it.
We used to
all
have
the
it.
time.
Yeah.
In history, we always have some hegemon.
Right. But now, what if you have a marketplace?
Yes.
What if you have 3 great powers that are stable and durable? Then you have a market. And then the Second World countries and everyone can decide. Do I want to have weapons from one, trade with another, aid from another, exports here, investment from there, cultural relations here? This is the marketplace.
Okay, then this geopolitical tectonics you were describing in your book, everything, these major changes are markets driven?
Жаргал сайхан нь 1984 онд Москвагийн улсын их сургуулийн эдийн засгийн ангийг онц төгсөж, эдийн засагч, улс төр, эдийн засгийн ухааны багшийн диплом авсан. 2002 онд Америк нэгдсэн улсад Денверийн их сургуульд бизнесийн удирдлагын магистрийн зэрэг хамгаалсан. Жаргал сайхан эдийн засагч, банк санхүү болон хөрөнгийн зах зээлийн мэргэжилтэн. Компани, банк санхүүгийн байгууллагуудад менежмент, түүний дотор стратегийн төлөвлөлт болон өрсөлдөх чадварын зөвлөхөөр ажилладаг. Монголын анхны клуб Улаанбаатар Ротари клубыг үндэслэн байгуулагч. 1995-аас 96 оны ерөнхийлөгч. 2003-аас 2007 онд Нээлттэй нийгмийн форумын төлөөлөн удирдах зөвлөлийн гишүүн. 2008-аас 2009 онд Монголын иргэний холбооны ерөнхийлөгч. Номхон далайн эдийн засгийн хамтын ажиллагааны Монголын үндэсний хорооны ерөнхий нарийн бичгийн дарга. Монголчууд шударга татвар ухаалаг зардлын төлөө төрийн бус байгууллагын ерөнхийлөгч зэрэг иргэний нийгмийн ажил эрхэлдэг.
Well, the market concept is just about choice. The fact that you have a choice.
Yes.
It's not about with America or not with America.
Yeah.
It's about a choice. You can be with America, you can be with Europe, you can be with China, all at the same time. And the smartest countries are the ones that are with all at the same time. And they practice what I call multi-alignment. You don't align with one, you don't align with the other, you multiple align.
And this concept of multi-alignment, I think I would like to touch it a little bit later.